Ching Cafe, and my name is Belinda Dunstan, and it is great to have you with me to our weekly I Ching forecast for the week commencing the 28th of October 2024. A few days left of October, and then we're into November, and what an amazing speed this year has flown by. So let's get every moment, every week, every month, let's get all the value out of the flow of time. Right, so before we get into this week's forecast and what we can pay attention to through the I Ching, let us cast our minds back to last week. We had the challenging Hexagram 36, darkening of the light. Some difficult, changing lines, challenging us to stay undercover and to read the room, to listen for the wolves, and to understand when do we keep ourselves undercover, when do we put the mask on, all right? And how do we deal with situations that are not for us? A challenging week. I'm sure you felt that energy of, the heaviness of Hexagram 36. And of course, every hexagram gives us a strategy, a way to develop through the flow of change that is happening for us in our lives. And last week, perhaps you experienced that heaviness and that sense of just getting a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a boundary, a little bit of a space between the drama playing out in front of you and your own world. Plus, we had the Hexagram 49 revolution, the opportunity to overthrow the old, to shimmy out of that old snake skin, okay, to leave something behind. So what an interesting combination of energies. What did you identify that you needed to change and overthrow in your own life because you were aware of this energy of darkening of the light? What did you become aware of? And what became obvious to you? What opportunity for change came to your life this week? If anything resonated, love to hear your comments. We'll always love reading the comments. Okay, this week, let's get into it. Last week of October, here we are, all right. Working with bringing in that energy of the monthly to a close. Very interesting hexagram 23, all right, stripping, getting rid of things that are not part of our lives, that are pushing down on the foundation. We had biting through hexagram 21, taking very decisive action on issues that were obstacles, and moving into a new flow of change in November. We'll soon know what that is. Okay, so this week, our first hexagram we're working with, our first flow of change, is hexagram 45, amassing or gathering together. Here, the lake is on top of the earth, right? The rivers are feeding in. There's this holding energy of gathering together everything to a central place, the water flowing into the lake being held by the earth. It's a wonderful hexagram, and it talks about, I like to say, reaching into the crowd and the cloud. Okay. So the idea of gathering together is taking all these resources, all these people, and bringing them together into a central place, like you would have if you experienced a concert. You've got all these individuals that are coming to see the performer. You're the performer on the stage, and everyone's gathered around you, all right? It's gathering together all the people in a central place to come and celebrate and experience the music and enjoy it and have this experience, this concert experience, all right? The same thing when we harvest, we gather things together, we take all the wheat and we tie it up in bales, and we gather together the resources, right? This is a very strong harvesting idea with this hexagram, and reaches into this idea of gathering a large group of people, all right, which can be physical people, but also can be digital people. So that's why I say it's a crowd or the cloud, okay? So we have a crowd of people. We're reaching out to connect with a large group of people that can also be reaching out into the cloud, into our social networks, into our digital networks, and reaching out to gather people and resources and information through the cloud, through the bigger network we're all connected to. So what this week allows us to do is it allows us to gather together the resources we need. So personally, that might be a whole lot of things that you've been struggling to get done, and this allows you to pull it all together. This is the energy of gathering together, pulling all the resources in, mobilizing the energy and the commitment of these resources to bind through a central group, through a central idea. Okay, so that energy is with us to be able to achieve that energy of pulling in the resources, pulling in the people. From a business point of view, I like thinking of this hexagram as, a social marketing campaign, for example. This is now the cloud part, where you're putting out a call to action, you're running a sale, you're doing a campaign, and you're reaching out to a large group of people and drawing them all in, resonating with them and bringing them together, gathering them together to help focus your task, your flow, your outcomes of your campaign. So there's different ways of us to think about how this hexagram may manifest for you in the week and what it's trying to bring you, okay? Because what this hexagram brings to us is the energy of a whole lot of resources we need, gathering them together and working to achieve something. It's a harvest. It's an opportunity to realize the goal, to realize some achievement on something that you've been working for, and requires us to step into the flow and gather it together, okay? Pull it together, bring it in, okay? You can imagine like you're a fisherman, right? And you've got your net and you've got the sardines are running, where you've got a big, beautiful opportunity here, all the fish. The way that you harvest is you've got to throw the net out and you've got to gather things together. That is the energy we're working with. Whatever this is for you in your personal life, your professional work team, gather together, harvest. Keep that idea of the fish coming in, the crowds coming in, right? The leads coming in. It's an opportunity to reach out into that big pool of fish, right? And draw them in. This is not catching one giant fish, right? The ultimate big daddy tuna. It's not that kind of energy. It's drawing in all the little fish, right? And drawing them all in to achieve what it is you need to do. Harvest, harvest, harvest. Lovely. There is a changing line, of course. If there's a changing line, is going to bring us something else to focus on, and it's in the third position. Now we know line 3 tends to be a tricky position because we are crossing the chasm. We've finished up with the bottom trigram, and we're about to cross the midline of the hexagram into the top trigram. So there's a crossing, challenge, stickiness as we make that little pivotal stretch across the middle. This changing line talks about, despite your attempts to gather together or to connect with the group or to bind with the group, there's a disconnect, okay? And the disconnect creates sighs and lamentations, okay? So there's a heavy sighing, oh, why? Okay, there's an energy around this changing line of, it brings up emotions, it brings up a sense of regret, a sense of disappointment. We're going to go through this together and we'll all experience this line in different ways, different degrees. But what the line talks about is there's two facets, depending on which resource you draw on. I'm going to give you both. The one aspect is there's a group you're wanting to connect to, and you're now on the outside of the group. We've had this line energy recently with a different hexagram. And we're trying to connect with the group, and we're on the outs, okay? We're not part of the group. The group's already formed. They have already coalesced and gathered together. Now we're on the outside. We want to be in this group. This might be a network, a friendship circle. Expand your thoughts around what this tight group could be, right? And we want to get in there, but we can't, okay? We're on the outs. So the one aspect of this is find the person that you have a resonance with within the group who can draw you into the group. So there's something around not trying to bash yourself against the group, but trying to find the little sweet spot that's going to get you in. And the changing line talks about finding that person where you already have a relationship with, and that connection helps you get into the group. Okay, so that's one aspect of this line. The other aspect is the sighs and sobs, okay, of being on the outs, of being disconnected and not being able to gather together this moment, and just accepting that it's not going to do what you want it to do. It's not going to coalesce. So there's one aspect is a group that's formed, you're trying to get into, and you're struggling. Find the person that's in the group. The second aspect is perhaps the coalescing is not connecting. Okay, what you're trying to do is not going to work, and trying to push forward with this new idea that you're wanting to do is going to cause some trouble. Just release the urge to try this new thing. Okay, there's something around these two processes. You're going to have to work in your own life is stay open to whether both these aspects of this changing line come up for you, or one. Okay, so I'm giving you both because they're slightly different interpretations of the same energy. We're trying to gather something together, okay, something specific in your life. This doesn't mean the whole week is like this, but there's something specific where we're trying to pull it together. We're trying to gather together with others, right? Perhaps digitally, physically, whatever it might be. And there's a slippage. We're struggling to make that connection, and our task is to let go of this pursuit of this new thing, just for now. Just let it go, pursuing the new thing, okay, on this issue. And the other one is find the person in the center of the group who can connect you in and hook you in. Okay, so let's work with that energy this week. Let's see what it translates to for you. Okay, our outcome hexagram. Where is this energy flowing? What is the other parallel flow of energy that we're working with this week? Okay, there aren't like a light switch. One switches off and then one switches on. Okay, there isn't a hard line down the middle of the week where one is live and the other one is not. Okay, they're a transforming energy. One transforms into the other. So throughout the whole week, we're working with both energies. And it is hexagram 31, influence or conjoining. Okay, this hexagram is the courtship dating hexagram. Okay, its energy is feeling super, super attracted to something, someone, an ideal, a project, a way forward, an idea. Okay. And what this hexagram does is it brings to us this awareness of when there's that energy, when there are things that are attracting each other, right? Two poles of a magnet. Our task is to bring things together that belong together. Conjoin, okay? It's like in all the universe, two people who find each other and there's just this mutual recognition and a mutual attraction on whatever level it may play out, whether this is a friendship or this is a lover, whatever it might be, but that idea of this attraction process where two things belong together and the universe conspiring despite all the odds to get these two together. Okay, we've seen that in movies, haven't we? That story of this kind of impossible love situation and everything conspires eventually despite all the challenges and the two lovers find each other in the end. Okay, that's the idea. Our life, our focus for this week is to look for where we feel that energy of being joined together, of being attracted to something, of feeling called that I must do this. I feel this is so important. I feel so connected to this idea. It's bringing in that energy, right? Bringing in the energy of connecting with what is important, bringing things together, conjoining things, allow the attractive influence to bring itself, make itself known, and to be aware of what is calling you forward. Okay, we are always attracted to things that aren't always for our highest and our best. So with this hexagram, we also have to stay open to what is calling me. What do I feel this impulse to do? What do I feel is really calling me forward? And is this in my highest and my best? And if it is, and if it's aligned to what I'm trying to do, then allow things to connect, allow things to be bonded together, give them space for love to blossom. Okay, whatever this might be, whether this is a project you're involved in or a relationship or a hobby, whatever this might be for you this week, there's an energy here of working with allowing like to attract like, things that belong together, to find each other, to allow that connection to happen, to give it space, to give it energy, and to work with moving forward, using that energy, okay, that's created, this massive energy that's created when two young lovebirds are in the courtship phase, okay, it's a wonderful thing, okay, is using that energy, all right, to move your goals forward this week. So we work with gathering together. Our mind is focused, our situation is focused on gathering together, bringing people in, creating those leads, managing those leads, bringing in people, coalescing people around a central point, right? Some awareness that we are created through this changing line, okay? It might be something that comes up for you in the week, okay? Or it might be an awareness of where you have been struggling. You know, sometimes the changing lines, and I experience this, where what the changing lines bring is not a new challenge that comes in the week, but it brings you awareness of where there is a disconnect, where you've been struggling to make things connect and hook up, and they've been difficult, where that group has been stuck, you know, that you're trying to get in. It's the awareness of where that is living within you at this time, and how you can work with that energy differently. Bringing in this influence, this attraction. What is that thing that you feel compelled to do? Where do you feel it in the marrow of your bones? Okay, it's that kind of energy. Just be tuned into where you feel that urge to move forward on a particular thing and give it its energy, because what it's doing is the compulsion to move forward, okay, for the highest and the best, is gathering together. And the gathering together is creating the opportunity to move forward through this influence. They work like this. It's not, they work together as a cohesive pattern that this week we are unfolding. Right, on that note, right, happy influencing, happy gathering the crowd and the cloud. And I look forward to connecting with you very soon for our monthly for November, because November is really upon us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.